Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome back to our channel. How you guys doing today? As you guys can see, I am all by myself. Yes, I'm all by myself. I choose to do this video by myself just to get you guys to know who I am and my journey and where I am today. I'm Charlene and I was born and raised in Jamaica, and I migrated from Jamaica and I lived in Florida. I lived in Florida for a few years before I moved to Connecticut, and that's where my journey began in Connecticut. I went to school, high school, college, and I started my career also there. And I didn't put any time or effort into it, so I basically you know, didn't continue with it. I found my passion into healthcare, and that's where I am today. I am in the healthcare field. Um, while living in Connecticut, it was, I was growing up, and I ended up having my daughter for an older gentleman, and it's like generation generation curses are real, just to let everybody know. I'm a living witness to it. Generation curse is real, and you got to break that generation curse before you even bring another child in this world, because you don't want, or pray over that child, growing while that baby is growing, because you don't want that generation curse to continue to flow, to continue. But I got married. Got pregnant for I got pregnant for an older gentleman, and I have my beautiful daughter. She's 25. I don't look like I have a 25-year-old, right? But I have a 25-year-old daughter. And so my life continued. And I grew up. I was growing up. And I was growing up a little bit too fast. So, you know how you have 3 lanes on a highway? You have the fast, medium, and the slow. I was going in the fast lane a little bit too fast. And God took me out of that fast lane and put me in the medium lane. And it seems like I was picking up speed. Excuse me for a second. I was picking up speed. And God had to show me a different road. So he took me out of the medium and put me in the slow. So that's where I became humble. And that's where my faith in God kicked in. Because look at me. I am a living testimony, okay? A living testimony. And I thank God every day for sparing my life, because I could have been dead and gone. You guys would not even know me as I am sitting here with you guys today. I know other people may have it rougher than me, but I can say that for myself, I have a testimony, and everybody have their own testimony, and however they present it to the world or to their family and friends, that's on them. But for me, I'm expressing it to you guys, because this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. Tell my testimony, share my testimony. So I was in a, fast lane, took me out of the fast lane and put me in the medium lane, and now I'm in the slow lane. The slow lane now put me into the hospital. Here I am in the hospital for quite some times. I was in and out of the hospital first. I was in and out of the hospital. And one day I could not take this pain anymore. Take it anymore, and here I am back into the hospital. This time they admitted me in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for a month and a half. I was in the hospital for, I lost so much weight. I was skin and bones. I was like one of them skeletons that's they show in biology class. That's how I have to always keep the blanket over me because I was so ashamed of how I looked. And seeing my daughter come to visit me every day in the hospital, I was more afraid, ashamed, because here I am, put myself in this situation, and here it is that my daughter have to come and see me like this every single day. It breaks my heart. It hurts. This is not the life that I wanted. But here I am. I put myself into it, so now I have to deal with the consequences. So here it is, my daughter coming to visit me every day in the hospital. And here I am getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker, to where the doctor actually want to pronounce me dead. Yeah, want to pronounce me dead. They actually wrote my death certificate. They just wanted to put a time on it. But God had a different plan for them. That day, when I went and I did an MRI, and that's when he actually, wrote out. And how I know he wrote out the death certificate, because the nurse told me before they switched shift, they said that they expect you to be gone by the next day. And I said, okay, no problem. I call my cousin. I believe I called my brother, my sister-in-law. I called her, and I called like a lot of people, and I told them to pray for me. Pray. I told them to pray. And then the guy who was in the hospital with me, I told him just to keep reading the Bible for me. Just keep I'm listening to it. Even though I'm in and out of sleep, I'm still listening to what he's saying. And he reached in Matthew. That's when I fell. I know it was Matthew, because I felt he was reading Matthew. He said what he was reading, the next chapter he was reading. And I know it was Matthew before I dozed off into sleep. And then I went to sleep. I don't know if it was a vision or a dream I was in, but I was in something. And I dreamt three scriptures. Three scriptures I dreamt, and I could not remember one of them, but I know it started with a P, but I just don't know if it was, Psalms, Proverbs, or Peter. So I was like, I didn't know. So I tried to go back to sleep to go back into the same vision, but I could not get back. And that's when I started to cry. And at this point, it was at night. And I woke up and I was starting to cry because I could not remember that P. I remember the other two, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, but I could not remember that one. And as much as I tried to go back to sleep and try to go back into that same dream, I could not go back into it. It couldn't come to me. One nurse came in and she started to do my vitals. And me and her started to talk. And she took my vitals and she saw that I was crying. And she asked me why I was crying. And I told her why I was crying. And after she did my vitals, she gave me a word of encouragement, and she prayed for me. And before she leave the room, she wrote down something on a piece of paper. But I was like, I leave it alone until in the morning when I wake up. I would look at the piece of paper. And the morning came, and I looked at the piece of paper. And I started to cry. I cried. I cried. And I just say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I was just saying, thank you, Jesus, the whole entire time. I knew, but nobody knew why I was saying, thank you, Jesus. And all the three pieces was back together again. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I was just crying in that hospital room. Let me tell you, I was crying in that hospital room. I was crying, and I read those three scriptures every day. Every day. And my cousin called me, and she prayed with me. She prayed, and she said, "It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay." And a few days after, I was released from the hospital. Few days later, I was released from the hospital. So who could it be but God? If you guys know anything about Matthew in the Bible, who could it be but God? In Isaiah, by his stripes we are healed. Oh my God. Who could it be but God? I am here today because of him. Nobody else. I'm here today because of God's grace that he had on my life. And he gave me a second chance in life. And I'm here to tell you guys, God is real. God is real. I got a piece of him. I got a taste of him. And he is real. But even though I know all of that, I still want to be myself. You thought all of that would have just changed me. It did. In many ways than one. But here I am sometimes double and dabble into things that I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. And it's not right. So here I am at home recovering. And at the time they had this app called Black Planet. And I went on to Black Planet and I was just browsing. I was liking a few pictures, but no one responding until this one person. I liked this picture and I sent him a message, and lo and behold, he sending me back one, and it was Tafik. And me and him talked and we talked on, on Black Planet, back and forth for a while. We talked and we exchanged email address, and we email each other every day. Every day I wake up with an email from him. And as soon as I email him, he would email me back. It's like he was waiting for an email from me. But every time I email him, he emailed me back right away. And it was beautiful. I still have those emails, to be honest with you guys. I still got those emails. Now and then I may just go back and start browsing through them sometimes, but I still have them. Yeah, you could find true love on some website now. Not all website, but Black Planet was pretty decent. I find true love on there. So I found Tafik on there, and that's how we connected. We talked for a long time before I went to Africa. We got married, came back home, put in his papers, but situation happened where he did not make it to see me. But we still holding on. We still have faith, and we believe God has something in plan for us. Either I go there or he comes here. Either way it goes, we will be together. So this is me. This is my testimony to you guys. Let you guys in on a few things. You guys gonna get to see me a little bit more than Tafik. I'll be videoing more than he is whenever he get the time to come in online with me. I will record the both of us. But for right now, is you guys just gonna see more of me, more of activities with me to per se. So hope you guys like this channel, share it, subscribe to it, and to see the journey of my life and our life together. Talk to you guys soon. Love you guys, and may God bless you guys for the rest of the week. Bye, honey, and I love you. See you soon.